Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. Hope you all had a great week. Right, let's get started with today's analysis. Before we start, we'll run through the trade setups. We'll go through a number of pairs, and I'll talk a bit more about the course. Our course for September has been completed. It was a very successful course. And the next one is going to be in November. This is the last course of the year, as I've mentioned the last time as well. It's the last course of the year, so if you're interested in joining us, this is the last opportunity to join us for the November course. The exact dates is going to be from the 11th of November until the 22nd of November. It's a 2 weeks course. For more details on the course, you can contact me on under our contacts under the description of my videos. So that is my contacts. You'll find them under the description of all my videos. My email address, you'll find it there. My mobile number, which you can use via Telegram or WhatsApp. My Telegram channel is there. So if you want to get live webinar links, if you want to attend these webinars live, you can join this Telegram channel. So the live webinar link is posted there. And you can also follow me on TradingView. That's my link over there. So there's the information about the course, 11th to the 22nd of November. And for more details about the course, that is the course content, the cost of the price of the course is actually $529 US. For South Africans, the cost is 5,000 ZAR. That is 5,000 rands. So that is the price of the course up until the end of this year. Next year, there's going to be a price increase on the course. We've kept the price for the same for the last 3 years. Okay. So if you are interested in the November course, but you want to join us now, you can still do so because the course is recorded. So the whole course is recorded on videos, so you can watch it as early as you join us, and then you can interact live in the November course. So you can join us at any time. Right, let's start with trade recaps. Let's go to our Slack group. So we use Slack group. So it is also advisable that when you want to join us, you have the Slack platform already downloaded so that we can just add you as soon as you have confirmed payment. So have that downloaded, saves us a lot of time. Now, I'm going to go through a few trade recaps. So we have been looking at Bitcoin for the last I think it must have been the last six weeks. We have been looking at this corrective structure and we've been tracking it, and eventually we got this trade here 2 weeks back, and now we got this one right down here. That is how this one has played out. I've shown 4 different patterns on Euro US dollar that were exactly similar to what was happening with Bitcoin, and I'm going to go through that again so you can see again how we got this drop on Bitcoin. Yes, we got this one to drop like this, did this, and then it dropped just like that. And that is the power of wave analysis. It applies on any market. It doesn't matter whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks or indices, it applies on any market. And this is how Bitcoin has eventually played out. Now, the forecast was that we're going to come down into the blue box. We are here now. We're going to come down into the blue box and push higher. That may slightly change for now based on the way it has dropped. So we're going to look at an update now and see how that has played out. So this has played out amazingly well. Let's run through the other pairs. Okay, so the next one that we're looking at is US dollar chief. I was looking for this one to correct here and drop. It has made one up here, but it's coming down again. I'll just adjust this here, and we're looking for this to still come down. Nothing has changed as far as the core forecast is concerned. We're still just looking for entry here. So we've got one more down. We'll update this one during the market analysis. This is CHFJPY. CHFJPY has also we'll have a look at this one here now. It has actually made one more up. No, it has not made one more up. It has broken here and it has made a corrective structure like this. So this now will not necessarily go all the way down because this corrective structure that it has made is now very deep. Let's just quickly look at it at the current price chart of US dollar of CHFJPY. Let's have a look at it. It has made a deeper corrective structure on the 4-hour. Let's have a look. This is what I meant. See what has happened here. So we wanted it to drop here. It has instead made this corrective structure. Now I'm expecting this to come down, but I won't expect it to go all the way down as initially anticipated. So this will be a corrective structure that will make one more up before we get any further drop. But the trade is not invalidated yet. We can still get this trade. It may just be slow. All right, that is CHFJPY. EURJPY is similar. This is what we're trading in our group currently. EURJPY, let's have a look at EURJPY. This was US dollar CHFJPY, EURJPY similar. You can see EURJPY, I've been looking to sell it for the longest time now. It has made this structure here. We're coming down with this structure now. Let's have a look at the current price chart on EURJPY. It has also made a corrective structure. After the move down, we're looking for it to come down now. That is EURJPY. We've made a similar corrective structure there. You can see there. So it has made a running flat similar to that one of US dollar JPY. Now we can actually get a trade here, a very good trade, because we already have an impulse here. You won't see it on the 4-hour, you'll see it on the 1-hour. We're looking for this correction, and then we're looking for this to drop. Okay, so EURJPY will be a very nice one to trade in the next week. Okay, we already have an impulse after taking the top here on this regular flat. We're looking for this. Watch EURJPY for a drop. It's very clear. Right, so that is EURJPY. Bitcoin we already looked at. US dollar CAD, we're still holding on to this one. Still holding on to this one. It is busy correcting here. We'll figure out that corrective structure as we start with the market analysis. This has now happened. We still want it to push higher. It has pushed up here. We're looking for this to break higher. Right, so that is US dollar CAD. EURJPY, you can see from this is what was started when I started identifying the trade that I wanted to sell it. It has now made this, and we're coming down with this. This is the one that we've just shown now. We're looking for this trade now. Right, that is EURJPY. Pound CAD has now made this move. We are now looking for this one to drop. It has pushed slightly above the blue box, but this should come back down now. So let's see if we're gonna get the trade now to the downside. Right, that is pound EURAUD. This one did not play out. This has actually now pushed higher. We got the trade. No, this is not the one that we traded. We wanted this one to come and push lower here, but it has actually reversed higher, as you've now seen. This was 2 weeks back. EURNZD has also done the same thing. Okay, so EURNZD is the one that we traded from here. We traded this one from here, got this one to come down here, and then we expected that it was going to continue, but it did not continue. It has actually made this expanding flat and now moved up here. The one that has played out was this one here. Let's just see. As this US dollar JPY, I'm still looking for the first US dollar Euro New Zealand trade. So this is the one. As you can see here, this was the trade which has dropped here. The next one that did not play out was when we were expecting continuation from here. That is when we started doing this, and then we started looking at this as a expanding flat. Very clear and easy to trade there. Right, so this is US dollar JPY. So US dollar JPY is also one that we are holding. Also it's also at a corrective structure around these areas. We still wanted to push higher to this level. Okay, so that one is looking good. So there's no way to lose, and there's no way we're going to lose this one because it's already a risk-free trade. All right, that is EURJPY, Euro New Zealand. Pound Audi has made one up. Now we're looking for this one to come down. We're looking for this one to come down. We've made one up. We're looking for this one. We're still looking for that move to happen now. We've now seen that it has now done this move, and we'll be looking for it to drop. Okay, now let's get started with the market analysis. We'll start with Bitcoin. That is how we've been doing in the week. So there hasn't been much of new trades. Last week was a short week in South Africa as well. We had a holiday, so we have not put in any new trade setups. All right, so let's get started with Bitcoin. There's really nothing to update there. We're just waiting for Bitcoin to reach the blue box, and we'll take it from there. Right now, we're getting a corrective structure. This is a three-wave move. We're still looking for this one to continue and reach the target into the blue box. From the blue box, I said I'm going to take my profit and I'm going to wait for another entry. If this is going to make any corrective structure here, we may still continue lower, but let's just have a look here. So we may still get this one to actually hit the target that we forecasted previously. And now if we get an impulse here, we're going to start looking for entries here. But as far as the structure is concerned, I don't see a bounce as yet, but we are getting some kind of divergence from this point here. From this point here, we've been getting divergence. I'm going to show you now. You're getting some divergence, but that divergence could just be for a three-wave pullback like this, and we continue lower. Now, how did we get this right? I'll show you those patterns again. So you can see the relationship between those fractals that I identified, and those fractals that I identified are not Elliott wave patterns. These are patterns that I have identified myself, because it is not only those patterns that Elliott has identified that will always play out. So patterns means repeat, but so what I noted there was something that kept repeating on different time frames, but it is not part of what Elliott has discovered. And I'm not saying it's a new discovery, it's just something that I spotted that was very interesting. And that is just how the market works. They keep doing the same thing every single time. And when you spot those similarities, don't ignore them, because that's how they move the market. Now, let's have a look at Euro US dollar. I'm going to draw those patterns a bit quicker this time. We've all seen them before now, so I'm going to do a bit quick. I'm going to do it a bit quick. So on the weekly first, on Euro US dollar, we saw the pattern. Let's take this off. So this is a weekly chart on Euro US dollar. What did we see? We saw a familiar pattern, right? So it's not a pattern until you start seeing something similar to it. So this is 1, 2. My mouse is a bit skew here. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then you get a three-wave pullback. So this is a zigzag pullback. So I'm just going to use one line there, and just to make sure that we identify it clearly, I do this 1, 2 back here, and then from there you get this to drop. Okay, this is the move that we're looking for, that we were looking for on Bitcoin. So this one drops like that, and then you see that as it drops, this is something that I didn't show before. As it drops, it comes and make a sort of a we call it a V pattern in our group. It contracts here at the end. Now let's go to the next area. So this was the weekly. So the next area, the next two areas that we're going to go to where this exact pattern is, this area on the 4 hour and this area on the 4 hour. This we also traded and we got this drop. So looking at this exactly the same thing. Now let's look at this one now. We're going to come here on the 4 hour. 4 hour. And you see that these patterns, how powerful these patterns are. Okay, so now we come into that play, to that area. There we go. Now let's do the same thing again. This is now a different area. It's on the 4 hour. You saw this one was on the weekly. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Now what do we have here? A pullback in red. It's a three-wave pullback. And then you get this pullback in blue. 1, 2. What happens after that? This drops. My drawing is becoming a little bit skewed. This drops like this. And what happens at the end of the drop? You get this. What does that show you? It's showing that we're about to reverse. Now, this is the second place. Now, another one, after seeing these two patterns, I was able to trade this one at the top here. This is the current drop on Euro US dollar. I was able to trade this based on this pattern. Now, look at this one. It looks identical. Now, this is Euro US dollar on the 4 hour still. You just want to see the whole chart here, and you'll see what is happening with the Euro US dollar here. I want to show that pattern. I want to try and make it at least the same size. Right, Euro US dollar, 1, 2, 3. Pull back in 3 waves. What do we have? The blue. down and back. What happens after that? That is the big drop that happened. Now, after that, you get this one. I'm just going to show it here just so this can be the same size. You can see that you're already having that V pattern there at the end there. That's the V pattern that you have on Euro USD. Let's just do this so you can see the V pattern that I'm talking about. It's just now, this is the one that we're looking at as a diagonal now. This one here. This is the one that we're looking at as a diagonal. That's the V pattern. That's what happens after the drop. It slows down like that. Okay. Right now, what were we looking for? We were looking for the pattern on Bitcoin. So I'm going to exit this here now, and I'm going to go to Bitcoin. Actually, that's where the V actually comes from, but I don't want to claim this because it's not an Elliott Wave pattern. So let's just we just keep it at a V pattern. Right, guys. So let's continue. So now let's go to Bitcoin and see how we got the drop. Let's go to Bitcoin and see how we got the drop. This is very exciting and interesting when you're trading, something that actually plays out, that gives you confidence to trade. Now this is Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin, remember we identified this way before this happened. We started identifying that structure when we were here. Now what did we see on Bitcoin? Remember this is Euro, 1, 2, 3. You will think that these patterns are coming from the same place. But now let's look at Bitcoin here. Let's just move my annotation tool out here. 1, 2, 3. Pull back in 3 waves. You can see clear 1, 2, 3 waves. What did I say last time? We said you're going to have a drop, you're going to have a pullback, and you're going to have a drop. This was before this happened. 1, 2, 3 had not happened, and 1, 2, 3 has now happened. And what do we have? We got this. Now, for us to confirm that this is the end of the move, what do we expect to get? We expect to get this. So as far as we are concerned, this should now start contracting like this if we're going to get any reversal here. Now, isn't this powerful? Let's get this one back to, unfortunately, when I exit full screen there, you won't really see the pattern. Now, let me just go one more to full screen. I want to take the chart off so you can just see the pattern that I've drawn. Now, when you just look at the pattern without the chart, you would not know where this came from, but it's exactly identical. But this is Bitcoin. All these 3 is Euro. 1, 2, 3. No relationship whatsoever, but we were able to get this trade here just like that. Okay. Now, as I said, these patterns, these are repeating patterns, but they are not Elliott Wave structures. So what was the relationship with between this and the Elliott Wave structure? Let me show you now the relationship with the Elliott Wave structure, because you cannot just go and say, oh, I'm looking at these similarities on the charts, because you still have to use the Fibonacci structures, the Fibonacci levels, and those are related to the Elliott Wave structure. And without that, you cannot trade, or unless you've got a different strategy. But I use the Elliott Wave strategy to trade. So I have to show you the relationship now between this and the Elliott Wave structure, and that we were looking at as a corrective structure, and it's a simple structure like this. It's 3 waves down, 3 waves up. Let's use a different color. 3 waves up and 3 waves down. And this is simple. This is WXY here, W, let's make this one big, XY structure there. Simple. Now we're looking to complete that Y, and that Y may complete like this. Doesn't matter, shouldn't matter, and we're just looking for this to come here and complete the structure. Now, if you like putting in a lot of letters, you can do that, but that's just simply WXY there, ABC there, ABC there, and if you wanted to also, you can also do this. There's another ABC there, even lower now, ABC, ABC. Now this is how you find people with a lot of letters in a chart. Okay, it's not because they know a lot, it's because it's easier when you've identified the structure. So if you just go and put in the letters without identifying the structure, it's very easy to make a lot of mistakes. So this is the pattern, and that is the Elliott Wave structure. This is why we're expecting this to come and drop here, or even give us a V pattern. The V pattern will tell us if we are getting this move, and that's how we traded Bitcoin. Okay, so now what do? We wait and see what we get to as far as the structure is concerned. You can even take profits here now because it's going to be very slow and frustrating coming down here now. Okay, then we wait for the next move. Easy. Let's run through the rest of the cryptos. Ethereum. Also got the big drops as well. Let's have a look here. So I showed last week only the short-term structures. So we just wanted this one to push back up here to give us an expanding flat, pushed quite higher and then came down. That was the analysis, and that's how simple this one is. So it's 1, 2, 3. Let me just check here. Make sure that's what we discussed, because I think we looked at it differently. No, we looked at this one as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, guys. Now this was a pullback, and now this is the A, this is the B. We're looking for this one to go and make a C. So Bitcoin may still be on its way to the downside. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, 1, 2, 3 B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C. That's what we're expecting here. Continuation to the downside. So any pullback here on Ethereum, opportunity to trade it lower. Now let's just look at the structure clearly, see what we're getting there. We have already got 1, 2, 3 there. It's a regular flat, clean regular flat. You're looking for this one here. Now, if you get a pullback here on the 1 hour or correction, you can take this one down. That is Ethereum, Litecoin, similar structure. They all dropped as expected. Any pullback here, even if it does this, you are continuing lower. Okay. Ripple is slightly different because it's at a critical area now. It has dropped, but has made a bounce to the upside. So this was the drop on Ripple. It has made this bounce now. We're looking for this to correct, maybe one more up here. So what I was looking for on Ripple, I'll go to the daily again now, was at that current level where it has touched, was for it to give us this impulsive move. I'm still looking for this impulsive move on Ripple, this one here. So this was one here, and it looks like here we made a very nice regular flat here, as you can see in red, and that is a 1, 2, and a 3 wave move. And I have been expecting this pulsing move from the time we have been correcting here. So that move may still come here like that. Still expecting that move at some point. So let's see here, even if it drops slightly, that will just be making an expanding flat or a running flat. So let's see how this is gonna go. We may get this. This is the overall structure I've been showing for the past, almost the whole year on Ripple. So that's what we've been looking for. So let's see how this one plays out. Now someone may ask me, what does all that structure mean? So let me just show you. This is 3 waves down. This is 1, 2, 3 waves. This is 1, 2, 3 waves, and that will be your Y. This will be your X there. Okay, so I can't go into the details of labeling this because it's simple after you have identified the structure. That is just A, that is B. And internally here, you would also have, let's see here, that will also be, that will be WXY in a different degree. WXY. Okay, just like that. Okay, so what are we looking for? We're looking for this one to bounce at some point. It may slightly push lower, maybe also a V pattern like Bitcoin here. Let's see. We just need to give it a bit of time to give us more data to see what's going to happen there. All right, so that's all on the cryptocurrencies. Let's go to the indices. Now looking at the S&P 500. So the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones, we are looking for them to give us diagonals in wave 5s. Okay, I am on the daily, so this is supposed to be our wave 4 here, and we're looking for this to be a wave 5. Now, this wave 5 looks like it's going to end as a diagonal. It's going to end as a diagonal, so we're looking at this to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5. Now we're coming down with this one. We may be coming down in 3 waves, and then we'll expect to get another move to the upside. Okay, so that is playing out as expected. That is the diagonal that we're looking for now. Those that are interested to know why that is a wave 4, this is something that I don't usually show here because we don't have time to show you all the analysis on the pairs here. So you just see the front end, that is the lower time frame. So this is why we've got a wave 5 here. Excuse the clutter here. Let's just do this so it's not visible in these time frames. Let's just get it off so the chart is a little bit cleaner. Let's make it quick. Also take it off there. Take it off there. Just clean up the chart quickly, guys. Sorry, should have done this a long time ago. Right, so this is how we're looking at this. This wave 4, you can see where that wave 4 comes from. Maybe if I go to the weekly, it will be a lot clearer. So that is the wave 4, and that is why we're looking for the diagonal, for the ending diagonal in wave 5. See the ending diagonal in wave 5. We've already started. We're looking for this one here. Okay, I see there's something on the chat box. Let me just read that question quickly. Right, let me read the question on the chat box. Oh, somebody's just greeting. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Right, so let's go back to the daily. Okay, so that is the diagonal now. We're just looking for this one to keep crawling up slowly in 5 waves. We've already made the first move here. 2, this one, this 3 can be the 1, 2, 3 here. This is the 1, 2, 3 waves. Come down in 4, 5, before we get the big corrective structure to the downside. Now you'll see that the NASDAQ and the Dow are also similar. Let's start with the Dow. We've got a similar structure. Let's go to the Dow Jones. Also looking for that diagonal there. We've already made the first 5-wave move. This is 5, 2. When I say 5, I'm talking about the 5 waves here. So it's 5 waves here. So this structure will be a 5, 3, 3, 3, 3. That is 5 waves in wave 1, 3 waves in 2, 3 waves in 3, 3 waves in 4, 3 waves in 5. So that is what we're going to be looking for. 2, 3 there. It's a simple structure. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the 5, that's when we're going to expect the big corrective structure. That will look like the market is crashing, but it will be not. It will be just the big correction that we'll be expecting after this one here. All right. That is the Dow, the NASDAQ. Let's look at the NASDAQ. You can see it's similar. We're also looking for a diagonal there. So this one should actually start here. That's where our diagonal starts. Okay, so we've already made the first move here. First 5 waves, pullback. Could this be the 3? The 3 will be the 3 waves. Let's see, we get a 4, 5, and then the big pullback that we'll be looking for. Okay, so that's how the S&P 500 is looking. So I will not be trading within this structure. I will trade when this structure is complete, when this diagonal is complete, and the correction is. You can actually look to trade the correction down because the move to the downside after this will be big. Now let's have a look here. You can see this big divergence on the daily as well. So that is clearly a diagonal. So a diagonal must come with divergence, and that is exactly what we are getting there. All right, let's look now at the UK 100. UK 100, slightly different, but the structure, we're still looking at the same structure. Let's take this off because we're still pushing higher. It's not going to do that. So after the 5-wave move here, we see that it made an expanding flat here. 1, 2, 3, and now we're looking for this one to push higher. So let's see here, if you get a corrective structure, we should push higher on the UK 100. This is on the daily. Let's go to the 4-hour. Now the 4-hour. On the 4-hour, you can see we're still pushing higher. We have made this move to the upside here. We made 3 waves up, 3 waves back, made a move here. So this one may need another 3 waves here low in the lower degree. Let's just switch this off here. Just want to switch this off here. Just hang on 1 second, guys. Right. Let's do that. There we go. Right, so this is 3 waves here. The reason why I'm expecting this one to push a little bit higher, you can see that in there we've got a lower degree 3 waves. In here you've got a lower degree 3 waves. Now in here you'll expect a pullback and a move up. So if you get this pullback here, you can trade it one up before you get the bigger corrective structure here. That is the UK 100. Now we can look at the DAX. DAX almost similar to the UK 100, except we're looking for this one to give us one more up here. It has made a 3 wave pullback. This one is easy. 3 wave pullback, and you're getting an impulsive move to the upside. Now you'll be looking for this to correct and push slightly higher. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're looking for this one to complete the 5 here. So it's simple. You just want to you just want to get a move to the upside here. Okay. That is the DAX. Now NIFTY, let's look at the Nikkei first. Let's do the Nikkei first. Nikkei also has made a 3-wave move to the upside first. 1, 2, 3. We are on the 4th one here. Expect one more up on the Nikkei. One more up. But this move looks very impulsive, or even if it's a 3 waves, it may come back for one up here like this before we go. And that'll be a 1, this will be a 2, this will be a 3, 4, and a 5. So we want one more up on the Nikkei. What happened was we got the move to the upside in 5 waves. It corrected with a zigzag like that, and then it made a continuation move. So this one should actually be the yellow move. All right, so that's what we're looking for. One more up on the Nikkei before any reversal. All right, lastly, NIFTY. We're looking at an expanding flat. The bigger structure here. 1, 2, 3. Now it has made a running flat. You can get a corrective structure here and push it higher. That is the NIFTY. Right, now we can start with the majors. Right, so let's go with the majors. Euro, US dollar. Right. Euro, US dollar. Let's look at Euro, US dollar. Let's go with the daily. Show the whole structure here. So we'll start with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 internally here. Shown clearly. Let me get this one to show clearly here. Let's go higher degree, full screen, so we can see the structure clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're expecting this one to be the wave 5. This is the diagonal that we've been expecting to happen. Now, this diagonal, we're looking at it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for this one to be the wave 5. Okay, so we've been waiting a long time for this. It has been coming down and crawling down very slowly. So let's see, the last move here made a regular flat here, and we expected that it was going to drop some more. We wanted it to push higher, but when it made a regular flat, we expected that it was going to push one more lower. Now this one more low is coming now with divergence. So now let's watch and see what happens in the next coming session. If we are not gonna get this big move, this big corrective move that we've been looking for on the Euro US dollar. So let's go to the 4-hour. I'll switch on here. All right, we're gonna look at this here. That's the diagonal, and that is what we're expecting here. We've got this one more down here after the expanding flat. Right, and you're getting divergence. This is the first time that we're getting divergence since this move started. That is the divergence here that has started from here. Only now after this regular flash. So let's see if we're gonna get this now. All right, so if we're gonna get this, we're gonna have an impulse. So if we get an impulse, that's what we're gonna trade the correction here to the upside. And then we should trade then to the downside. That's the long-term forecast on this. All right. That is euro US dollar, and that's what we're going to be looking for. Pound US dollar. So the last week, I expected that all the pound pairs are going to push up higher after the impulses. It looks like that will not play out as forecasted because this pullback has now become very deep. Okay, so what do we expect now to happen? So this looks like it has made an expanding flat, and this expanding flat, if it's happening at the area, at a critical area, where we expected the pound pairs to reverse. Now let's just go back one up to the weekly. Let's just have a look at the weekly here and see how the weekly is playing out. Let's go weekly. What did I press there? I want to go to the weekly. So a couple of weeks back, we looked at all the pound pairs at this area. Okay, so this is what we looked at on the pound pairs. Now, when we got this impulsive move at this area, I thought this was going to be the reversal that we're looking for here. But now, if it is correcting here, if this is a correction here, the pound pairs should come now to the downside. So let's have a look what happens in the next session. If we're going to get this one here, it's going to be like this. Let's go to the 4 hour. We've got a pulsing move. We've got a sharp move to the downside, which I was expecting that it was going to be only a 3-wave move. I was expecting only a 3-wave move and then continuation pattern to the upside. Now, this is what you're going to expect in the next coming sessions. This move that's going to come here is going to be a corrective one, and that's going to be tradable. So that's going to be impulse, and then you're going to look to trade this one to the downside. So let's watch this in the next coming session. Watch for this corrective structure. Similar size as this one. That is what we're going to trade to the downside. You will see that all the pound pairs now have a similar structure. We'll have a look at that as we go to the rest of the pound pairs. Now let's go through the rest of the US dollar pairs first. US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD is the one that we bought right down here at the bottom. And we are still holding this one throughout this corrective structure. So we are looking for this one to now start giving us a correction here and push higher, because this was our target, to break the previous high. So we want this one to keep pushing higher. So that is US dollar CAD, and that is the expectation. Now look for this one. This is an impulse. As much as this looks like a spike, this is an impulsive move to the upside, and we're starting to correct. So this is an impulse. Look for correction here on the 1 hour. This will push higher, even if it comes and retests here and come back. But for now, you will need to get an entry here. US dollar, that is US dollar CAD, US dollar CHF. We saw this one during on the trade setups. I already have this one as a move to the downside. I have this one as a trade setup here, looking for it to drop from current levels. Let's switch this off here. On trade setups, you saw this. We wanted this one to correct here and drop. Now, it has made one more up. That's okay. It has made one more up. It's coming down again. So we're looking for this one to do this. Now, this will be your new entry day. Okay, so this has not confirmed. This was not a trade, so you should not have been in there. So you wait for this one to drop here, which is already done. Now you look for the corrective structure, and that is what you're going to be looking for, minimum to get to this level again. Now, if we're going to get this move to the downside, that means the euro is going to start pushing higher. Right, so that is here US dollar CHF, Audi US dollar, expanding flat, we're coming down. The same way that euro made an expanding flat on the 1 hour and it's coming down like this. Now, any pullback on this one or any corrective structure, we're gonna get one more down on Audi US dollar. So let me go closer to this one. Looks like we're getting a V pattern here. We're gonna start getting a V pattern here. But this move here will only be telling you it will only be showing us that we're gonna get a 3-wave pullback here and continuation to the downside. So if you see this V pattern, it's not going to mean a reversal. It's just going to mean a pullback here and then continuation lower. New Zealand will be the same. New Zealand will be the same. This is a corrective structure, and this is what we're expecting here. So this may take a bit of time here. This will be an A, B, C structure, and internally you'll have a lower degree A, B, C structure here. A, B, C structure. So you see, it's not only about just the labeling, it's about identifying the structure. I just put the letters so you can follow my structure. So this is a higher degree structure here, A, B, C. Lower degree is green. You can identify it with green colors. 1, 2, 3, like that. So that's why this one may take a bit of time, may go sideways before dropping. That is New Zealand US dollar. US dollar ZAR. Let's have a look at this one on the daily. So US dollar ZAR and US dollar CAD are correlated. So let's have a look at the structure here. So we saw the V pattern here. You'll see this V pattern in the lower degree that was showing us reversal. Initially, I thought there was only going to be a 3-wave pullback because we wanted this one to go all the way to 13. Okay, if it was going to go to 13, this was going to be the structure. It was going to be this 3-wave structure. Okay, so now let's have a look. One correction there, running flat. One correction there, expanding flat. So this one seems to be looking to continue higher. So this is the structure that we have. So what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this will be your W. Now let's show it in yellow because that's the yellow degree. That will be a W. That will be a X. And we'll look for a Y to come down. We are looking to complete this X here to the upside. Now this one may not go up in a straight line. You can get this and that lower degree like that. And then you will have this one SA. This is 3 waves down here. XY, W, X, Y. Your Y will be right there at the top because this will be 3 waves. Okay, that is how the structure will look here. Right, we will look for this to come and break the top. You can see previously this one did not break the top, so this one should break the top and come back down. Breaking the top may give us a running flat or an expanding flat if this is going to come back lower than the 13 area and push higher. So long-term view for the South African rand against the US dollar, there is not good news for the South African rand long-term. Yes, you may get short-term strength after breaking the top here, but long-term, not good news. So short-term, immediately, if you want to get short-term trades, look for corrective structure or pullbacks at the current price levels. So this is, if you go to the 4-hour, you already have that impulsive move, so you can keep looking for this. You can keep looking for this pullback in 3 waves, pullback in 3 waves. Every time you correct, it keeps pushing higher. That's what you're gonna keep looking for. Another one like that, you can trade them short-term to the upside. All right, that's all the US dollar pairs. Let's run through the yen pairs. Start with pound yen. So pound yen, looked for this one to be making a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So that structure based on what pound US dollar is doing may slightly change. So this is what may happen here. So we've got 3 waves down here. We may expect that we get another pullback here. 3 waves and keep pushing lower like that. Get a bigger corrective structure here. So that means pound pairs to keep coming lower as opposed to what we expected when we got the impulsive move here. So let's see what happens in the next coming session. This way we need to get a deeper corrective structure like this. That'll be a WXY structure like that. Right, so that is a pound yen. US dollar yen, still holding a trade here from here. I showed you this one on trade setups. We took this one right here. Okay, so this one has pushed up higher and now looks like it has made an expanding flat here, and now we're still waiting for this one to keep pushing higher. This one may give us another corrective structure here for another entry if you're interested in that, but it's too high to be buying US dollar JPY from there. So our target is that level. We want it to keep pushing higher. All right, so that is US dollar JPY. Euro, you saw the trade setup that I showed on trade setups. Let me read what's on the chat box. Somebody wants a long-term view on Euro pound. We don't really have time for a long-term view, so we can plan it for some time next time. All right, I can just show you the higher time frame, so we don't really have time in an hour to do all of that. Okay, so EURJPY, you saw the trade setup. After breaking this, we're looking for this one to correct, which has now happened. You are looking for this. This is the one that I said you must watch in the next week. This one will drop. Okay, so we'll get a drop there to the downside. Just show you the trade setup again, so you can see it. From right at the top, we're expecting it to come. Actually had a blue box, which is slightly higher than where we, at current levels. It didn't get to the blue box. When it dropped below this, we're expecting that we're going to get a correction. The correction has happened. Now we're looking for this. Right, that is EURJPY, CHFJPY, similar structure, except this corrective structure is now much deeper than the one on the euro. It's like this. So let's see if we're going to get this here on CHFJPY. Let's switch this off so you can be clear. Now, if this structure becomes like this, CHFJPY may push again higher after the drop. Okay, you can start to see the relationship between pound yen and CHF yen. So the yen pairs, they've got a specific relationship here. Right, so that is CHF yen. Watch for this one to drop. No confirmation of a drop yet. You need to get an impulsive move and start looking for this. AUD, the same. So the yen pairs are going to continue lower. You can see they've made similar structures. We're looking for this. New Zealand, a move up, correction, and a move up. So this one has made this structure. We're now still looking for this one to do this to drop. Now you need to get a confirmation here to take the trade to the downside. Okay, that is New Zealand and CAD. CAD also pushed up higher, but it went up in 3 waves. I thought it was going to push higher after this corrective structure. Based on what the other yen pairs are doing, this is a 3-wave structure. You've got a 3-wave structure here, so expect that this will do this again here. Okay, the break of this, you should have a pullback here. Okay. All right, so that's what we're expecting here on CAD yen. So the yen pairs should be coming down in the next week. Right, let's look at gold and silver, silver and gold. So gold and silver has played out exactly as we analyzed last week. We've made a move here, and I said we were going to get a corrective structure here. 1, 2, this one was supposed to push higher. I said we're going to push higher and then drop. That's exactly what has happened. Now, if you want trades here, look for corrective structures for the downside here. This will be making an ABC pullback here. I still want gold to give us one more up because I want silver to give us one more up as well. So we'll look at silver just now, but for now we are still looking downside. Okay, the structure is still downside. Now let's look at silver as well. Silver, very interesting because we expected this to happen way before we got this corrective structure. We had this move down here. I said if you watched last week's video, even before we had this corrective structure, I showed you that we're going to expect a move like this. Exactly what I'm drawing now, I drew this before it even happened last week, so you can go watch that as well. So you're looking for this now. Your trade here is this one. This is your trade now. You've made a corrective structure, you've made an impulse. Now you look for corrective structures here to come here to this level. Okay? So you look for corrective structures. Let me just see here, there's something on the chat box. Let me just read there. So MK is just confirming that we mentioned this correction on silver last week. Yeah, you can confirm that for yourself. So You just watch last week's video and you see. Now this corrective structure could have fooled anyone because it went as if it was reversing. Okay, right, so normally when a pair plays out in the way that I did not expect, I just leave it until I get more data on it. So that's exactly what happened here with silver. When it looked like it was reversing, I just left it and say, so I can get more data on that. So we could see that it has now played out. Now you can start looking for these trades to the downside. The same way we're looking for trades to the downside on gold. So now after this pullback, expect one more up on silver before we get the drop. Okay, so let's have a look here on the higher degree structure and why I'm looking for one more up on silver. So it's not just about coming to a chart and looking for pulses and corrections and you just mark them like that. And you need to have a clear sequence on the whole structure, on the whole cycle. What is the sequence and what is the cycle? We want silver to come back here and possibly even break. This is the structure. This is what I'm expecting to the downside, but it may even do this. You may even come back for one here before we come back to test that top here and even break it before we come back down. Okay, so that is the structure here. So that is why if you do not necessarily want to be trading within the corrections. You can trade this leg, you can trade these legs, you can trade these legs, you can trade these legs. Okay? But if you are trading this long term and you've bought it here, you would want to exit here when it starts doing this. Okay, that is silver, very clear, and gold, very clear. We're pulling back, but we will go higher again, even if it's this. Okay, that's what we expect. Right, so let's run through the pound pairs. They are all showing us pullbacks here. On the daily, you see pound chief has made a 3-wave move here. Is now coming down. I think we had forecasted the blue box, and when I saw this pushing above the blue box, we sort of disqualified the move to the downside. Let's have a look here on the 4-hour. Now we can start looking for trades to the downside. Now that's a lot of labeling. That's not something that I don't usually do. But I did that just to try and identify the structure there because it was not so clear. So now we can see it's a pulsing move, it's a correction, and it's a pulsing move. Okay, so this pulsing move became a bit longer than this one, which I don't really like as much as it is within the guidelines. I don't really like a C wave that is longer than the B wave, but this one is not that long compared to this, so we can accept it. So we've got this drop here. To trade this, you wait for corrective structures to the downside. Same as the rest of the pound pairs. Right, pound Audi. Pound Audi. Now, initially, this is the structure that we looked at. We have always looked at this to be a correction on pound Audi. So this is a very interesting pair. I looked at this one to be a 3-wave up, a pullback, and a 3 waves up, and I wanted this to drop from there. But then when it pushed up here, it changed the structure, and this is what we looked at now. This is why you need to have alternatives when these things happen. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thought it was going to give us one more up, but we now see that we've got an impulse after an ABC structure to the upside. Now you've got an impulse, look for corrective structure for downside. Now this correction focused it way back on this structure, way back before it even happened, and it looks like it has completed now. Okay, so just go back to Slack, show you the long-term view on pound Audi. See if we can find it quick. Let's see if we can find it. Now that is the correction that we focused on was going to happen. You see the correction that I've just shown now that I'm expecting to have completed here, said that it was going to complete like that. And that is exactly how this one has played out, because we are looking for this to give us a move to the downside. Why are we looking for a move to the downside? Because we're expecting to have completed this big corrective structure to the upside. Now let's go back to this structure here. Let's go back here to pound and look at the daily. Let's look at the daily. It's a very interesting pair. Now remember, when we were here, somebody said there's news in Australia telling us that this will go up. So, but the structure, that's not what the structure was showing us. W, X, Y, X, and the Z. Okay, so we started at the drop here. I said we're gonna have a correction here. Now we're looking for this one to come down here. This is gonna be a big move to the downside. It's gonna be a big move to the downside. We're expecting this one to come back to these levels. Although we know that it's not gonna go down in a straight line. And if you want to take a snapshot of this and why we're expecting this to the downside, this is it here. This is what we're expecting here. Right. You can go and read up and see why I'm looking for this to drop here. I'm not gonna go through the whole structure and all the degrees and why. That's what we do in our group and during the course. Now we're looking for this to be a correction, and we're looking for this one to push lower. Starting with the move, and this correction, you can see when we focus on the correction, when that chart was posted, this chart was posted in June already. So in June, we already knew that we're gonna have a correction there, and then we're gonna drop. We've started the drop now. Okay, so that is a pound Audi, very interesting one there. Let's go back. Okay, somebody says HS. I don't know what HS means. I've just closed my chart here now. Okay, so here we go. We got it back here. All right, let's continue with this. As pound Audi, let's look at pound New Zealand. Now, pound New Zealand looks like it has now completed a regular flat here. That's why we've got the pound pairs dropping. We've got an impulsive move here. It is not confirmed yet. Let's see if we're going to get a correction here. A correction, we're going to start getting a move similar to this to the downside first before we get any corrections or corrective structure. All right, that is how we're looking at this. Pound CAD. Pound CAD, a clear three-wave move, pullback, similar to the one we have on pound US dollar. Oh, head and shoulders. I don't trade head and shoulders. Okay, but if you're seeing it the way your way, that there's nothing wrong there. There's nothing wrong. But I don't look at it like that. I look at the structure. But if you're looking at a head and shoulder, by all means, nothing wrong with that. That's your strategy. All right, so you're looking at this one to have made a three-wave move, three-wave pullback. This one should continue lower. This one had already reached the blue box to the downside. Now, if the blue box are gonna be are going to be invalidated, or we're actually missing here. We want this one to come down to this level here. Want it to come down to this level. Okay, so, but this was our blue box here at current levels. This one has started the correction at the blue box. Looks like we're going to have one more to at least come and retest this. Possibility to even break lower. Let's see how that goes. All right, so that is pound CAD. Let's run through the euros. Now, euro pound, if the pound pairs are starting these moves to the downside after the corrective structures, we expect that euro pound will push higher. This is 1, 2, 3 on the daily. Starting an impulsive move here, any correction here will mean that euro pound will give us this pullback. Okay, euro pound should start pushing higher. Right, EURJPY, still looking for this one to give us a move to the blue box. So if there's any move here that you want to trade, you trade this to the blue box. We said this last week as well. Euro New Zealand pushed up higher again at this level after making what looked like an expanding flat. It did not break above the expanding flat. Instead, it's coming down here now. It's coming down here. Look for pullbacks, at least back to these levels. If you go to the 4-hour, you're getting another correction there. So this should push lower. A break below this, Euro continues lower. Euro New Zealand. Euro Audi follows Euro New Zealand. This is a 1, 2, 3 wave move. Any correction here, look for this to continue lower. Expected this one to push higher last week. Let's have a look here. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3 there. This one should do this. So we've got a 3-wave move up here, 1, 2, 3. We should have this one pulling back here like this. Let's switch this off so you can see the structure. So that's a WXY structure. Even if you get a 1 more up here, we should still drop like that because that will be WXY. All right, that is EURAUD. EUROCAD, continuation to the downside. Look for correction to structures here. Back to retest this level. Not a very good trade, not a good risk to reward there. But let's have a look at EUROCAD in the higher degree. Still looking for this to continue lower. Into the blue box. Still missing the blue box. That's where the blue box is. That's our target area for that. All right, now let's run through some of the cross pairs and then we'll do oil. Let's start with AUDJPY. These are very easy. You've got a pulsing move down. You need a correction. You need to come down lower. Okay, we've made this 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 waves, and now we're looking for this one to make a move, a corrective structure like that. I'm on the daily, so look for this in the lower time frames, so the 4-hour and the 1 hour. You can see on the 4-hour, it's not as straightforward as that, so your corrective structure may be a 3-wave pullback like that, and then the drop. Right, that is AUDJPY. So you're gonna get 1 more up here, and then drop. Audi New Zealand. So out in New Zealand, we've come down here in 3 waves. We've got an expanding flat there, 1, 2, 3. Now it looks like we're getting this one to be a corrective structure again. So it will keep pushing high. So even if we get this one to push a little bit higher here, this one should keep pulling back like that. That is Audi New Zealand CADJPY. CADJPY, a pulsing move, and a regular flat. Now, is that regular flat complete? If it's not, it's gonna just push here, then we drop. But the idea is to get a sell set up here to the downside. So CADJPY, you're looking for downside, very clear downside on CADJPY. Don't miss it, you're looking for this one to do that. So even if you do get this, which I don't think will happen anymore, I think you're just gonna drop from here, get corrective structures like that. So CADJPY, very nice one to look at in the next coming sessions. AUDCAD, corrective structure, same as this, we'll keep pushing lower until we break below this. New Zealand CAD, bit of a bounce, but we're still looking for this one long term. We're looking for this one to come down. Let me show you on the daily. On the daily, I want it to come down to this level. So any pullback that you see there, we want it to come here and break this low here before we start getting this big move that we forecasted from last year, October. New Zealand JPY also still coming down. Looking for this one. Let me go to the lower time frame so we can see that structure clearly. Let's go to the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, we've made a 3-way pullback. We should continue lower. Okay. And lastly, oil. So oil, you're looking for this corrective structure and for this to break lower. I showed you how we forecasted oil, this move that came as a result of news last week came, and then we still came down, back down. So even with news, the market still followed structure. Price still followed structure. Okay, so that's how this one has played out. Okay, somebody's raising a hand. We are at the end, towards the end of the webinar now, so I'll attend to the just now. Right, so this is what we're expecting with oil, this corrective structure here, then to come down, retest this level minimum. And that's what we're looking at oil. Thank you very much for joining me, guys, and thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the like button so you can get the notification next time I post the video. Thank you. Cheers. See you next week. Good luck. Bye-bye.